Dean Ambrose would thrive as WWE's hardcore specialist. Point Dean Ambrose toward darkness, not toward WWE gold. Rather than get lost in the shuffle in the crowded championship picture, Ambrose would be better served playing WWE's resident hardcore king. Make him this generation's Mick Foley. Let his past power his present, and an alternative path be his means to stardom. His former brethren from the Shield have gone on to nab the spotlight. Roman Reigns just headlined WrestleMania, and currently hovers around the world title picture. Seth Rollins holds the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, sitting atop the company as its top heel. As for the unstable brawler, he's not anywhere near that level. He's a mid-carder who continually fails to capture mid-card titles. There's a better route for Ambrose that doesn't require him to push Reigns out of the way or switch places with Randy Orton. WWE can build on what he has done in the past to highlight his toughness and have him tell his own sadistic story. Ample experience. Ambrose is clearly comfortable in chaos. Much of his early career saw him yank barbed wire out of his flesh and wear caked blood on his face. He first gained notoriety as part of Combat Zone Wrestling. His resume there is littered with matches where the fans brought weapons or involved broken glass sprinkling the ring. That's where he battled alongside Sami Callihan, now Solomon Crowe with NXT, in a tangled web death match back in 2009. In these types of gory bouts, he has looked at home, using the stipulations to amplify the madness associated with his personal. A perfect fit. After growing up in a violent, dangerous part of Cincinnati, like he did, it makes perfect sense to build on that. Of his hometown, Ambrose told Slam Sports, it was easy to get the feeling like all the garbage from the city ran down and washed up there. Making him a man who demands to have various hardcore bouts is an easy way to have his real-life background bleed into his on-screen persona. His gimmick would be a more sharp-edged version of Sheamus' I Love to Fight angle. WWE has already laid the foundation for that. The company so often talks about his unpredictability and his penchant for gutting it out through pain. It only needs to take things further. That's exactly what being WWE's extreme expert would be all about. WWE can show clips of his indie matches, footage of his old neighborhood, and build a mythos atop the one that already exists. In 2014, Ambrose spoke with Anthony Bonino for WWE.com. He said of his hardcore background, "I may not be the biggest guy in the world or strongest guy in the world. I don't have those gifts. But I will take more punishment, and I am willing to withstand more abuse. A lot of people say it takes a lot to beat him, or whatever. I'm trying to show you in the most literal terms, my buddy is indestructible, whether it's glass or fire, or barbed wire. This is as compelling a foundation for a gimmick as one could imagine. It's a lot like what Foley built his WWE career around, but Ambrose could put his own spin on it. His interviews would make this angle shine. He knows full well how to sell himself as an urban warrior who laughs at blood and pain. He did that for years. Going with a toned-down version of who he was on the indies not only allows him to explore a character with great potential, it gives him a spotlight with no championship necessary. Free from the need to contend. So many of WWE's stories revolve around its titles. Those are the easiest narratives to write. It's rare that someone can catch fire without hunting one of those down. Making Ambrose a guy bent on wreaking havoc, a man more concerned with the thrill of the fight than what victory will net him, is the ideal path to doing just that. He can challenge Luke Harper to face him in a street fight, and in whipping the big man prove that this is the match made for him. Have him engage in a series of violent gimmick matches against Stardust, two lunatics going to war. Let him travel down to NXT and go a few rounds in Falls Count Anywhere matches, and the like with Crowe, looking to see how tough the up-and-comer is. It's an easy way to plug him into the product at any time. He doesn't need a complicated story, just a man willing to step into his domain. At CZW and in the various weapon-heavy bouts he has had at WWE, Ambrose has shown himself to be adept at this side of wrestling. It's a way to amplify his character and give him a stage at all times. If there's no room for Ambrose to be a headliner right now, being the macabre sideshow would do him just fine.